Hi, this is the Hotbox, telling you that this video might have some sensitive stuff in it, so take a second if you need to and go check out something else. Otherwise, please enjoy the show. Hi, good to see you again. Now, if we're in any luck, my mail-order existential crisis should be here soon, and then we can really start the video. Perfect. All of us, at one point, have struggled with our identity. Identity can be something that's hard to find, and even harder to develop. There's nothing wrong with taking your time. In fact, it's encouraged. It's the best way to make sure that you can become safe and sure of yourself, so that you don't end up bringing that hurt to other people. It's also the best way to ensure that you don't end up in the pitfall of replacing real character with whatever gets you the most attention. Because when you don't have yourself all the way figured out, or when you don't know who you want to be, you can end up making yourself and the people that you claim to associate with look bad, or even put them in serious danger. And that is unfortunately the case regarding our subject today, Oli London. Oli London is a unique form of walking blemish that many of you may be familiar with, but for those of you that aren't, you'll have a good chance to catch up today, because you'll need to in order to understand how Oli has gone from getting thousands of dollars in surgery to replicate a K-pop star's look, to starting a music career and claiming to be transracial, to transitioning and impersonating yet another K-pop star, to detransitioning and claiming he's found God, and then culminating in the current year where he is now abandoning his music career to focus on politics and is spewing openly transphobic rhetoric on US national television. And if that was already a lot to process, I understand how some of you probably just use this video as background noise to draw to. Let me help you. Here, take this pill. Calm down. Feel better? Great. Now, because this is American healthcare, that wasn't free, you now owe me your eternal soul, or at least your time to the end of this video. Buckle up, because today we're diving down the rabbit hole of Oli London and the threat that he poses to everyone around him. Let's get right into it. Welcome back to the channel, new and returning, young and old, fans, haters, and everyone in between. If you're new here, why not subscribe? It's quick, it's easy, just takes a second, and you can always undo it, but it really does help out the channel a lot, so thank you. Now, who is Oli London? Well, our story begins in the late 2010s. Oli entered the media consciousness through his appearance on Hooked on the Look, bursting onto the scene like a rupturing pimple.
My God, you're greasy.
Here, we're introduced to a young Oli. We get a glimpse into who he was, who he is now, and we get a taste of his love for K-pop, and specifically BTS, and from this group, Jimin.
I want my entire look to look like Jimin is honestly my K-pop idol.
Oli details his expensive clothing collection.
$790. This one is my most expensive clothing item. It was $7,000. Now this one, I wear all the time. It's Roberto Cavalli. And Jimin actually wore this in the Fake Love video.
You put a designer jacket on a plastic hanger. Come now, I know we can afford velvet. The video continues to follow Oli as he visits a doctor for a few injections with a pointy no-no tool that I can't show on YouTube.
And you put the Korean injection in me, I feel Korean, wow.
I feel that you're wrong.
Are you stupid?
Oli then visits some friends who are vocal about his changes.
I really just don't want you to get to a point where you can't undo anything. I mean,
We do support you, but
Of course
we're
we
just
do.
concerned we do want the best for you. And
Really? It's a very common thing in Korea.
yeah, in Korea.
I know, we're in London, we're not
We're not in Korea.
I know, but you know I'm obsessed with Korea. I know,
do.
both of you, I know you're
don't
actually...
want you to.
To be clear, this video is not to dunk on plastic surgery. There are plenty of surgeries to reaffirm people's perception of themselves. These are all well and good, but it becomes a problem when it's used as a means to co-opt a racial identity. Following his appearance, Barcroft decided that much like an evening cigarette or a plague, Oli London was so nice you gotta do it twice. Oli London returned to Hooked on the Look in 2019. He appears with his friend Frenchie, remember them? They'll be making an appearance later.
I'm obsessed with K-pop and BTS.
The premise of this video is Oli being in Korea to obtain several plastic surgery procedures and sort of stalk Jimin.
So now that I'm in Korea, I'm really trying to find Jimin. I'm going to all of his favorite hangouts, favorite places. I'm really trying to find Jimin, trying to find Jimin.
All while speaking a form of Korean that sounds like it got put through a garbage disposal.
How can I say I am your biggest fan?
나는 너의 굉장한 팬입니다.
나는 너의
Where does it end though? Where's it gonna end?
Where does it end is an excellent question.
I'm not actually changing my race, cultural appreciation, not cultural appropriation. And you put the Korean injection in me, I feel Korean, wow.
A fucking clown! It's right there!
With Oli's multiple appearances, he garnered many reactions from fan communities, YouTubers, and the internet in general.
In Korea already, you're pretty well known now as the guy or the man who has spent $100,000 just on plastic surgery to look more like Jimin. Right? So how do you feel about that? How that you're kind of known for that now a little bit in Korea?
I mean, I'm happy that a lot of Korean people know me, and I'm sure Jimin will know me by now. He must know.
I want to emphasize, this is the man living rent-free in the head of right-wing media right now. Let that sink in. Following this blow-up, Oli began his conquest into K-pop, releasing several songs such as Mirror Mirror, a song with excellent production chops that are unfortunately overwhelmed by Oli London's warbly vocals that are the sonic equivalent of a hit and run. Oli, when I look at you, the last thing I think of is Korean Dream. I think you're more of a living nightmare. Perfection, as a track, manages to be everything but. A piece where, once again, good production is taken over by Oli London's massacred pronunciation and autotune that is about as pleasant as a forced amputation. This is all not to mention the use of human beings, particularly Asian people, as props. Oli London is attempting to say that he has substance, that he's more than just pretty. And that's true. He's also delusional. One of Oli London's more offensive numbers is Heart of Korea. An energetic beat is not enough to distract from the blatant cultural massacre happening here. Oli London is dressed in a traditional Japanese kimono, using a red fan and umbrella that are distinctly Chinese, all in a video claiming to be the Heart of Korea.
The Heart of Korea.
Oli, with behavior like this, you're more like heart disease. This is disrespectful to real K-pop stars who undergo intense training and management. K-pop stars face intense public scrutiny, suffer predatory management deals that sometimes lead to their financial ruin. That's not even beginning to mention the toll some stars' mental health suffers. Oli London's bizarre masquerade into the genre makes himself look bad, attaches a poor connotation to the community from the view of outsiders, and is disrespectful to the real stars. Now, with this music career, there's a lot that could be mentioned in the interim before our next bigger topic and the present day. There's Oli London's marriage to a Jimin cardboard cutout, Oli's divorce from that cutout, Oli's marriage to a Jimin look-alike, Oli's moonlighting as a publicist for a K-pop group, Oli's claims of being transracial, which we should all know is not possible. Gender is fluid, your race is not. Oli's brief period of identifying as a member of the group Blackpink and transitioning to identify as a Korean woman. Now, identifying as a woman is not the problem, but he is still claiming to identify as transracial and committing identity theft, and those two things are a problem. And then Oli London detransitions and claims that he's found God and wants to be baptized. The list goes on and on. I want to make it clear, again, Oli London is free to identify and express his gender and sexuality however he likes. Everyone has that right. Everyone also has the right to change their mind and do things such as detransition. That is normal. That is not something to be made ashamed of or ostracized for. What I am saying is that Oli rotates his thing, his facade, and his associates like a fucking merry-go-round. That is, if they don't turn away from him first. Oli London has a knack for turning people away from him, from his former friend Frenchie to the group that he was a publicist for. Everyone in Oli London's professional life seems to follow the trend of backpedaling as soon as they can after they've been through with their business because they can all see how shady he is up close and personal. These are clips from Frenchie herself.
Oli London lie 24/7. If you have been following Oli London on social media, you have been living a lie 24/7. Oli is a liar, he's fake, and he's a snake. Oli has been using Jimin since day one. Oli doesn't care about BTS. Let me clarify something here. last year we were both in Seoul together. I left in the middle of June, and then like a week before BTS was playing in Seoul, so I was mad because I had to go back to work. And basically Oli was in Seoul when BTS played in Seoul, and he didn't even go to see them. So that's how much he couldn't care less about BTS. He's just caring about how much trendy and how much view and money he can make using K-pop and using BTS. Oli's surgery were free. Oli has never spent $150,000 for his surgery because he cannot afford it. Oli doesn't come from a rich family. His family is broke because they live outside London. Oli himself is broke. He lives in a very nasty place in London. Like I think he told me it was a 2-bed, 2-bath with 6 other people that split the rent. So Oli is far away from being rich. Oli is actually broke. But Oli got all his surgery for free. Oli London cannot sing. Oli London cannot dance. Oli London is a loser and he has like no personality and he's a follower, like a sheep, right? So because he has no personality, he needs to use other people like K-pop and like K-pop star and stuff like that. And he needs to use the movement like Black Lives Matter, like bullying, like hating Trump in order to get trendy because he has nothing to offer. Oli's goal is to get as trendy as possible and get as many views as possible. It doesn't matter what it takes, and it doesn't matter how nasty and fake you would need to be to get there. So that's also the main reason I cut him off.
This account, coupled with Oli's track record, only further cements the idea that Oli will do whatever it takes to get where he wants. He doesn't care about the K-pop scene. He doesn't care about BTS. Oli doesn't really care when he tweets about Black Lives Matter, or Balenciaga, or Kanye. Oli will take whatever ridiculous leap he can if it means there's an opportunity for upward trajectory to climb the social ladder. Which brings us to current day, where Oli London tweets, "I will be releasing my final album this January and will be going on hiatus from my music career to focus on a new direction, politics. I want to help make the world a better place, help speak out for the voiceless, help fight for equality." Yes, like some kind of clout-chasing ventriloquist puppet, Oli London has hopped off the lap of K-pop and positioned his prostate onto the slimy, lubricated hand of the right-wing media, turning his Twitter into a petri dish of right-wing buzzword bacteria. This has rewarded us such gems as: bring back this freedom fighter. Bring back this incredible journalist who has unraveled everything that is going on right now with elites and child exploitation. Hashtag Liz Crokin. Yes, you might remember Liz Crokin from... These are the kinds of people Oli London wants to platform. For the woke warriors that keep attacking me online every day, respect my pronouns. Alpha, male. D, trans. Pat, riot. Christian. Christian? Oli dearest, if you have to go around telling people that you're an alpha male, I've got some bad news for you. Pronouns, alpha, male. 7 arms. I've been trying to become more manly so I can protect women from extreme trans activists and building my muscle to take on the woke mob. What do you think? Maybe I should be the new James Bond, sweating head? I know multiple women who could bench press you. Some of these things would not be so much of a problem if Oli was more private about them, and hear me out. There's nothing wrong with being a practicing Christian or preaching godly love, but that statement fails to hold up when juxtaposed to things like end gender-affirming care in teens. Children cannot consent to transitioning. Children cannot consent to gender-affirming care, aka child mutilation. If a child cannot get a tattoo, then they should not get surgery to transition. These kinds of things, it's when it becomes disingenuous and dangerous, especially when these kinds of things get elevated to the platform that Oli currently sits on. With Oli London, it's about stirring people up, creating outrage, because he knows there exist crowds that either don't know who he is and don't know that he's playing them, that won't look too deep in the first place, or that know everything and don't care because they can use Oli as a laughingstock to illustrate their hateful points. And Oli is playing into all that on national TV. A post on Oli's Instagram accompanied an appearance on the television program hosted by local discarded foreskin Tucker Carlson. The interview and the post both echo transphobic sentiments. They claim that kids are being indoctrinated by schools, having gender ideology pushed on them, and being forced to transition. This is, of course, rhetoric to inflame Carlson's largely right-wing fan base and rile them up against trans people and LGBTQIA+ people in general. Let us get something explicitly clear. Teachers who choose to include topics of sexuality and gender in their classroom are not doing it to tell and force your children to be gay or trans. Now, I'm not saying that some people in this world don't try to do that, and obviously that's not okay, but that is a small percentage that is being extrapolated and applied in blanket form to the entire LGBTQIA+ community to frame us as a threat. I think that acceptance and understanding of different gender and sexual identities are absolutely things that can be taught in a classroom in infinite appropriate ways. I'm not saying this because I want to force anyone to transition or detransition. I'm saying this because I grew up as a closeted gender fluid kid my entire school career, and I know that I'm not alone in that experience, and so because I know that there are other people facing similar struggles, I want them to have the chance to feel at least a little bit safer. At least safer than I ever did. Tucker opens the interview by asking Oli about his initial transition, and Oli responds,
I started dressing as a Korean woman, and I realized that was a big mistake and I just want to be a boy.
Oli does not indicate that it was bad because he's trying to steal a racial identity. No, he goes on to claim that it was bad because it's what he was made to think by the woke school systems.
But you know, is it any wonder people like me and young people want to change their gender when we have the normalization of this in our schools in this country? Children are taught from a young age, from the age of 5 in some cases, that it's okay to change their gender. It's okay to, you know, wear a skirt. It's okay for a boy to use a gender-neutral toilet.
Well, because it is okay, Oli. That's quite literally the purpose of a gender-neutral restroom. I've said this over and over, but the threat is not the trans person trying to use the gender-affirming restroom of their choice. The threat is the cisgendered people inside and outside that restroom and what they might do if they don't like that trans person. Oli has been busy bouncing between other interviews as well, like some kind of right-wing energy vampire floating in the door of whoever will let him in and biting into their pulsing airwaves. This is a clip from a One American News interview.
No, these days we have kindergartens teaching sexual education to kids, telling kids to change their pronouns, telling kids to change their gender, and also going behind parents' backs. You know, medical professionals are going behind the parents' backs, giving these kids, you know, sometimes these chest wraps to kind of suppress their growth, puberty blockers.
Oli, no teacher is out here waking up every morning to pound into their students' heads that they need to transition. Sometimes they do choose to talk about gender and sexuality in the classroom, but often they are scared to because they know it might bring inevitable outlash from parents who don't agree, down on them and down on the children. Also, no doctor is going out of their way to provide illegal hormone therapy or chest binders to children behind their parents' backs. They would lose their license. In another interview, Oli goes on to say,
people can change their gender just like that. People can self-identify. And I think that's the real issue. When people self-identify and when suddenly you have a man putting on a dress, you know.
What do you mean the issue is when people self-identify? Does that mean we all have to be defined by others? That we should all have no likes or dislikes? We should just leave that up to other people? We should have no personality? Oh, you're winning the race on that one.
Years and years ago, 30, 40 years ago, there were checks and balances. If someone was trans, they would have to have years of doctor's appointments, psychiatrist appointments, before they would transition and before they would change their, gender.
You've just described a sanatorium. Checks and balances is the funniest way I've seen clinically sanctioned discrimination spelled. In the back then that you're talking about, being LGBTQIA+ was viewed as a mental illness, and that still hasn't changed in some people's minds, by the way. Back then, gay and trans people were frequently submitted to psychiatric facilities where they were meant to be cured, quote unquote, and ended up either dead from torture, broken on the inside, or literally lobotomized. This is a very dark and scary part of LGBTQIA+ history because we were reduced to being lab rats, criminals, and some disease that needed to be cured. And even today, it takes significantly longer for trans people to get access to the healthcare that they need, if at all, because trans healthcare is still viewed as not real healthcare in some places. It's frequently not covered by insurance, and many bigoted people don't even deem trans people as deserving of healthcare in the first place. And I know this is a long tangent, but I'm not sorry, because this is what I mean when I say that Oli London is a danger, because if we start hailing and calling for the return of any of that kind of treatment, so many people are going to get hurt and potentially lose their lives when what they need the most is to be protected and loved.
So why don't we have these checks and balances anymore?
Maybe because they were found to be human rights abuses?
Why is it so easy for a kid to go in and get the puberty blockers, to change their identity, yet they can't get a tattoo or they can't buy alcohol? It's just hypocrisy.
Man, you make it sound like they're selling estrogen at every Chevron and Waitrose. Oh yeah, excuse me, $5 on pump number 2 and some testosterone to go, please. Oh yeah, and a handle of liquor for the baby behind me. Don't worry, he's 5.
Did it make you happier to transition?
Absolutely not. You know, I was just trying to find temporary happiness, and I guess it was a temporary fix. And a lot of these kids that have gender dysphoria, they're also seeking temporary happiness, you know, because it's a trend.
It's a trend. Oh, speak for yourself. Maybe you were seeking temporary happiness, even through all those tweets where you said you were happier than you've ever been. But these people are not doing it just for internet points or so they can sit at the cool lunch table. These people are doing it to feel real happiness and feel like the realest version of themselves, something that you clearly do not know how to be.
Activists on Twitter, trans activists, and, you know, non-binary activists, and they really are very hateful. I mean, I've had a lot of abuse directed at me personally, all because I'm speaking up for women and kids, you know.
How about because you tried to be Korean and stalked a living person? It was nothing to do with your gender identity, and you even went as far as to call the community brave before, remember?
I've seen a lot of other people online that have come out and been very brave about it and shared their story about how they identify, their gender, their pronouns, etc. So, you know, I've taken courage from these incredibly brave people, and it is Pride Month at the moment, so, you know, I thought this was the best time to do it, you know, and add a voice, add strength to the LGBTQ+I community.
But if you want hateful, you can come and get it, because I'm sipping my LGBT and it's served with boiling hot gender fluid.
What's the LGBT, my cum-dum?
Bad, you know, I'm not saying, you know, I'm against the trans community. I support all people. But I'm just saying, you know, we need checks and balances.
If we're bringing lobotomies back, I know just who I want to nominate first.
Kids being groomed online. Kids being groomed by these activists. You know, you see people on TikTok, Dylan Mulvaney, for example, they are trying to confuse kids. You know, kids are so susceptible to things they see online, you know. We shouldn't be doing this. I feel it's grooming, and I feel it's completely wrong.
As a peculiar aside, Oli has made the strange business of targeting Dylan Mulvaney. And if you don't know who she is, let me emphasize this. Dylan Mulvaney is the sweetest little patch of sunshine that ever did grow. Dylan blew up on TikTok for her Days of Girlhood series, in which she documents her personal experience transitioning. The whole atmosphere of this series is cozy and lighthearted. It's very clearly intended to create a safe space, if only for a few seconds, to those who may be experiencing the same things that Dylan is as she goes through her journey. In the recent year or so, she's been incredibly successful, landing roles as an actress and making big strides as an activist, even being invited to DC to talk about gender issues. Now, Oli takes all this, combined with Dylan's previous acting history, and tries to spin the narrative that Dylan is simply acting. Her transition was some trend, and she is mocking women and girls.
Dylan has 8 million followers. A lot of those people are young people, so when they see something on TikTok, they almost want to become that person. They want to emulate that person. They think it's cool and trendy. And the danger with Dylan is Dylan actually started out as an actor and a comedy act. They used to parody women, they used to mock women.
You're certainly one to talk about emulating someone else. Bit of the pot calling the kettle black. Now, the real story of Dylan Mulvaney is that yes, she did comedy content on her TikTok prior to her transition, but her transition came before her Days of Girlhood series.
Here it goes. I am a girl. I am a trans woman. My new pronouns are she and they. And I suppose that this is my coming out video of sorts. While I was non-binary, I would often say that I felt less and less like a boy every day. But now I realize it really was every day I was feeling more and more like a girl. Day one of being a girl, and I've already cried 3 times. I wrote a scathing email that I did not send. I ordered dresses online that I couldn't afford. And then when someone asked me how I was, I said, I'm fine, when I wasn't fine. How'd I do, ladies? Good? Girl power.
The series was clearly satirical, lighthearted, and at the end of the day, meant to be a way for Dylan to connect with fellow women. It's laughing to relate, not laughing to hate. And to Oli London types who thought that Dylan was actually just making fun of women, Dylan made this response immediately after the video.
Okay, I managed to offend women on my first day of being one, and I just feel terrible about it. Some gals saw my video yesterday as perpetuating the stereotype, which it was, and it was satirical, but it was mostly for a way to me to be like, how do I connect with women? I need to figure out a way to, connect with them. And I just feel terrible. Some girls said it didn't sit well with them. I got probably 4 messages, but those 4 messages made me want to throw up because I'm the least confrontational person ever. And so now I know better. I'm sorry. Not me making an apology video on my first day. I'm sorry.
The comments were overwhelmingly positive, as many people understood the true intention and didn't think that Dylan was malicious to begin with. And then content immediately following that is incredibly wholesome.
Day 2 of being a woman, I'm at the Rose Bowl flea market with my best friend, and we are wearing matching dresses, and I'm here to buy some femme gorge lady clothes. Let's see what I find. My current style is all over the place, but I just know I like to look fun. Hanging with the girlies. Woohoo!
Oli London thinks this content is a danger to children, because God forbid children see people on the internet being themselves and being happy. Perish the thought that they consume content that makes them feel safe and accepted. In conclusion, Oli being put on blast by powerful right-wing media outlets as a representative of an entire culture is damaging and poses a threat to these already marginalized communities. I'm stressing this again. Detransitioning is completely normal. It happens. It's not a bad thing, nor something people should be made to be ashamed of. It is just as normal as transitioning in the first place. But this narrative that people shouldn't transition at all, that schools are indoctrinating children, or that detransitioning is this matrix-breaking moment where you become free of the woke mob propaganda is absolute trite. For starters, schools are wary to even begin to talk about these things because of the people who run them, the reactions they know parents will give, and a host of other reasons. There still exists the climate in schools that members of the LGBTQIA+ community are ostracized. The few out kids at my school suffered tremendous bullying, and no teacher sure as hell told me that it was okay. I got told I was a little fruity for a boy. Joke's on them, I wasn't a boy in the first place. But I'm saying all this because schools should approach gender and sexuality in a welcoming and appropriate way. When children start having questions, we as adults, and especially adults in education, need to be prepared to give comprehensive, age-appropriate, and constructive answers. And they also need to feel safe to give these answers without the fear of losing their jobs or being called groomers by the right-wing media. Oli London has taken every opportunity to put himself in the limelight. Knee-jerk takes, co-opting social movements, the list goes on and on. Many people say Oli London is a troll, and that is absolutely accurate. He chases coins and material success, and he doesn't care what steps he has to take to achieve this. And because of this, he now stands to pose a risk to groups of people who are already in danger. It is a serious concern that Oli London has stepped into the political sphere as a proponent of dangerous ideologies that only serve to empower people who actively hurt these marginalized groups. It's a shame to see you doing this, Oli, because it's arming a side that has worked for years to do everything they can against LGBTQIA+ people with more hate that they can use as ammunition. It's disrespectful, and it serves a community on a silver platter to the people who have it out for them the most. Shame on you, Oli London, and if you see this man's content anywhere, speak up, don't let this hate spread. And that's everything that I have for you today. So thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and share the video. Spread the word. Whenever you're watching this, I hope you have a good rest of your day and an even better tomorrow. I love you, and before you say it back, look in the mirror and say it to yourself. And I'll see you in the next episode of whatever I make. And until next time, this has been the Hot Box. Bye!
Oh boy!
Is that going in?
Yeah. That one too.
Oh my god.
Let's go tonight.
Oh my god.
Oli London's marriage to a Jimin car. Can't even say it with a straight face. Your take was so dog shit I died. And that's everything that I have for you today. So thank you for microwave noise. This channel is sponsored by ExpressVPN. Click the link, please. I need to buy bread.
Everything's fine, cause the merch in the store. It's hot, it's burning, it's trending, I'm buying. Everything's fine, cause the merch in the store. I miss that outside where somebody can save me. What's you gonna do with all that stuff? You can wear it or burn it or give it to your dog. Everything is fine, cause the merch in the store. It's hot, it's burning, it's trending, I'm buying.
I'm going fucking nowhere.